In this video, we will learn about conditional statements in Python. The various conditional statements we'll be looking at are the if statement and the match statement. First of all, let's look at what the if statement is. The if statement in Python is a control flow tool that allows you to execute a block of code only if a specified condition is true. If the condition is false, the code block is skipped and you can optionally include elif and else clauses to handle additional conditions or default actions. So let's look at some code examples. So I'll go ahead and define a variable called number and assign it the value of, let's say, 10. And then in order to define an if statement, we use the if keyword and then we write our condition. So I'll go ahead and run this and write the code and explain this to you. So I'll say if number is greater than 0, say print the number is positive. Let me write that properly and say. So now what I've just done is I've just defined a simple if statement in Python. So in order to define an if statement or a conditional if statement, you write the if keyword and then you put in your condition. So this, what I've written here, is my condition or my conditional statement, whereby I'm checking if the number is greater than 0, and this condition will only be, or this block of code which is in this indented block here, because we use this a colon over here to specify a block of code. So the code that will fall under this indented block will be executed if this condition is true. So I'll go to my terminal and run my file using the Python command and then pass in the name of my file. When I run my file, you see that we get the number is positive outputted in our terminal because this condition is true. When I change this number to, let's say, -10 here, and then come to my terminal and run my file again, you see that we don't get anything. So whenever we write if statement, we can add an optional else clause or else statement to it. So I'll put an else clause here. And over here in the else clause, we don't add any condition. So in the else clause, in the block over here, I'll just say print the number is negative and save. So I've just defined an else clause to the if statement here, or the if clause over here. And when I go ahead and run my file again, we get the number is negative because this condition is false. So when the condition over here in the if statement or in the if clause results to false, the condition in the else clause will be what? Executed. But when I change my number to 10 or +10 again and run my file, we get the number is what? Positive again. And optionally, we can go ahead and add an elif clause to our if statement. So I'll just go ahead and then define another variable and say age, and I'll assign it to, let's say, 20, and I'll say if age is less than 20, I'll say print you are too young to vote. Let me close the terminal, and then I'll use if there. So I'll put my condition over here. Age is greater than, so I'll say if age is less than 18. So I'll say if age is greater than, let's say 20, I'll say print you can vote. And then finally I'll add my else clause and I'll say print invalid age and save. So this is just a simple code example to explain how we can add multiple conditional statements using the elif clause. So over here in the first condition, the code over here will only be executed if the condition is true. If it is false, it will go and check the next condition, which is the elif clause over here. And if it is also false, then it will go ahead and execute the code in what? The else clause. But if it is true, it will execute it. So I can go ahead and add multiple elif clause here. So elif clause, and then I'll just check for a condition. Maybe age is, let's say, greater than 50. I can say print, I'll just say print, uh, you are old enough to vote, something like this, and save. So we can go ahead and add any number of multiple elif clause to our if statement. So I'll just go ahead and run my code and see what will be printed. We are getting invalid number, definitely, maybe because none of our condition over here is what? True. That's why we are getting invalid what number. So I'll just say I'll just go ahead and change age to, let's say, 25, and go to my terminal and run my code. You see that we get you can vote outputted because our age is 25, which is what? Greater than 20. When I say change age to, let's say, 75 or 85 here, go to my terminal, clear it, and run my file, you see that we get you can vote, because now these two conditions are how will I put this, are what? Equal to. So it results to the first one because 85 is greater than 20. So maybe I'll just put greater or equal to 20 here. So I'll just collect, just for the purpose of this example, I'll just put that here and see. Or so one thing we can also do is that we can chain multiple conditions using the end keyword. So I can say, and let's say age is if age is, let's say, greater than 18, I'll just put greater than 18, and what? Let's say less or equal to what? 20, then this condition should be executed. Other than that, our next condition will be executed here. So let's see. Good. So now we are getting what? You are old enough to vote, which I am expecting. So as you can see, we can go ahead and then chain multiple conditions using the and keyword, or I can use the or keyword over here. So this condition will only be true if both if one of the condition is what? True. But when I use and here, the both condition must be true to make this clause what? Or this condition true. So when I change this to or, we'll get a different behavior, but I'll just go ahead and put it as at what? End. So I just want to show to you that we can use the and then the or keyword as well to what? Chain multiple conditions. So that is it about the if statement and then the else statement. So one thing you should note is that what? The if statement is used to what? Check for what? A condition. So it is a conditional statement. And whenever we want to write a block of code, we should use what? Spaces. And we use this colon over here to specify our block of code. So all the code that I'll put in this block of code will be executed. When I go ahead and then put something out of it, let me say print something like outside here, and you can see that I'm even getting an error because this is what? Invalid. So I'll just come and then take it out there. So you should be very careful whenever you are writing if statement. And one thing I want you to note is that you can nest in multiple if, if, and then else statement. So over here I can just put an if statement and then I'll put a condition here. So since Python supports true and false values, so I'll just say if true, and then I'll put a condition here. So I'll just say pass. Then I can come down here and say if, and then I'll just put a condition over here, maybe false, and I'll just put pass here in order to just demonstrate this to you. And as you can see, this is what out, this is fade out because this condition will never be what? Executed, because this is what? False. So I'll just say maybe if maybe 10, or else if 10, I'll put that there, or and I'll change this to maybe I'll just put a string here. I'll just say hello, and then I can come down here and put another else elif here and put an empty string here of, let's say, hi. This is just an example to show you that. I'll just go ahead and put pass here to show you that we can nest multiple if statements in Python. So I'll just go ahead and then put pass here. So as you can see, like I've nested another if statement in this if statement, and even in this elif statement here, I can put an if statement here. So I'll just put an empty string, like, or I'll just put the number 20 and then put pass over here. And even in the else clause over here, I can nest in another if statement as well. So that's it about the if statement, the elif, and then the else statement. So let's go ahead and look at the match statement. The match statement is similar to a switch case in other programming languages. It allows you to match a value against different patterns and execute code based on the first pattern that matches it. It is useful for handling complex branching logic and can match values, types, or even structures. So let's look at some examples of the match statement. So I'll go ahead and comment this code out. So first of all, let me just declare a variable. Let's say day equals, let's say Monday. So in order to declare or define a match statement, we use the match keyword. So I'll just say match day. So the day is our condition that we are matching. So in match statement, we use what? Cases. So I'll say case. So I'll say if the day is, let's say, Monday, then we put colon here and put our logic over here. So I'll just say print. I just print today. I'll just say maybe Monday. Just put Monday here and save. So I can go ahead and then put multiple what? Cases here. So I will nest in multiple cases. I'll just say Tuesday. Write that properly. And then I'll just print Tuesday and save. Let's end here for now. So this is how the match statement looks. So finally, I'll put a default case here, which I'll use this underscore over here. So I write case, then underscore, and I'll just say print invalid day and save. So when I go to my terminal and then run my file, let's see what we get. We get what? Monday, because the first case matches our variable. When I go ahead and put, let's say, Friday here and run my file, you see that we get what? Invalid day, because it doesn't match any of our cases. So that's how we can use the match statement to what? Match a lot of patterns. If you don't want, you want to write if you have a condition that you want to work with, and then using the if statement to make it look too complex and clumsy, you can use the match statement to do that. So, and then mind you, this underscore here is what? The default case. So if none of these condition or cases has been met, the logic over here or the code in this block over here will be executed. So that's all for this video on conditional statements in Python. Please subscribe and like to help the channel grow. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.